Hey everyone. So this is my first time, and this is my first time actually telling my story, at least to anyone who's not a family member, but in the Oxford Dictionary, the word veteran reads, a person who has served in the military. For the longest time, I wasn't able to call myself a veteran. In my mind, a veteran was someone who went to war or was in the military for decades. It took a long time for me to accept that I also was a veteran. I joined the Army Reserves when I was 17 in 1993, during the time the Montgomery GI Bill was heavily advertised. I dreamed of going to college, and I felt a scholarship from the Army would help. In June of 1993, I was shipped to Missouri for basic training. It's said some never make it past the first couple of weeks. Between drill sergeants screaming and the early wake-up, I didn't think I was going to make it. Yet I did, and I graduated in August, a new member of the Army Reserves. I was assigned to a company in New England for my one weekend a month, and after I arrived home, because I was a junior in high school, I had to finish senior year before I could go to Army Initial Training, AIT, which was 91 Bravo Medical Specialist. I was accepted to college, but the week I was supposed to go, my orders to report to Texas for AIT. I went and I did my training. But because I was unable to pass the physical training test, the paperwork for my discharge began. I was officially out of the Army in March 1995 on an honorable discharge. Years passed, and though I spoke of it, I never used the word veteran to describe my time in the reserves. On forms, applications, or other papers, I never checked the yes box when asked, "Are you a veteran of the U.S. military?" Friends had asked why, and I gave the same reason I always felt. And I never went to war, and I didn't want to take away from anyone more deserving. In my mind, I considered my time in the Army a mere blip, though I am proud I went through basic and 95% of my AIT, I still couldn't call myself a veteran. When I started dating my now husband, he would always ask why I never applied for benefits or called the Veterans Administration. Again, I gave him the same reason. For years, he insisted I try. Finally, during our time when we were homeless, he threw down the gauntlet and insisted I make some calls. I called the VA Homeless Hotline and Operation Stand Down, an organization in my area specializing in helping all veterans. The VA called and listened. When they asked me why I took so long to call, I told them the same thing I always felt. That's when they said, "You were in the Army. You are a veteran." The counselors at both the VA and Stand Down helped me to get my discharge papers, showing the time I served, where I went to train, and both my dates of enlistment and discharge. Working together, they helped me fill the information with the VA, get a VA card, and connect me with PCVI. More importantly, they helped me with a voucher to find an apartment, a home. In addition, I started meeting more veterans who had the same beliefs as me. They also felt they weren't veterans for whatever reason. Like me, it took talking to the right people to figure out what they could do to help, whether medical, employment, or shelter. I am taking the Providence Clemente Veterans Initiative. Many of my classmates are veterans of foreign wars, and they have assured me what I did matters. I am a veteran. Though it took almost 30 years, I have now accepted being called a veteran. My time was brief, yes, but I wouldn't trade one day. It helped me learn new things and give me opportunities I never would have imagined. It was my first time traveling on my own and meeting different people from all over the world. When I look at my smiling photo in a Class A uniform, I see someone who accomplished one of the toughest boot camps in the military. If you hesitate to call yourself a veteran, know you're not alone. There are people who can help in places you can call. Reach out, make that move. It will help. It helped me.